Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining us yet again. Today, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, keeping it Gucci, Michelle.
Yes, yes. The ladies were supposed to be keeping it Gucci, but I do not think Gucci wants to be associated with the mess in this episode. So you ready to talk that stuff?
I'm so ready, Michelle. I'm so
Yeah.
ready. Okay, let me do what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Before we
Um,
get started, I just wanted to let everybody know. So Erica, she's doing much better. She's doing much better, but she has a summer job, so that's why she can't join us, y'all. So, when summer's over, she'll be back with us.
yes, yes. I was thinking the same thing as I saw her picture. I was like, oh, Miss Erica, because she definitely brings a different flavor, but she'll be back, like you said.
Yeah,
But let's get into the mess. Ready to talk that stuff?
100%.
So, okay, the first probably 15 minutes, I'm sure you loved because it was about Drew. So she started meeting with, she met with her music producer or director or somebody, Rage. And,
Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's.
okay,
Oh, okay.
no, no,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I was about to skip ahead, but look, I saw her little choreographer, and I
Yes.
was like, "Ooh, look at that little bitty morsel." Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember he was little. I can't remember. I mean, I remember him, but not that much because I thought you would be focused on your boy, your boy. But any case, so she's talking to him about the video that she wants to do for her song. And they're talking about the video and then also talking about her marriage. And he mentioned that if they can make it past the 8th year, because I guess it's their 8th year or 7th year, they'll be good. And I don't know if you
Mhm.
noticed, it probably was a bad edit, but she was like, that T like,
They
oh
did it on
man,
purpose.
right. And so he was like, well, look, we need some type of sexy man for the video. So is your husband in shape enough to take his shirt off and do these sensual hot scenes with his abs? Like, are they ready?
And
Because if
they
not,
played your boy. And that one little second clip, they played your boy because it was looking all flabby and everything. And I was just like, "Oh no,
but I
no!"
thought that was good enough. I thought it was good enough. I mean, it wasn't like, but to me, it was like a nice body. Like, it's not like super over muscly tight, but he could be cast in the video. And so I was thinking, I was wondering why Drew wasn't like right away, like, oh, he ready, let's do it. And she was like, I don't know, because I do think she wants to keep her stuff separate. I think that was her goal. So they kind of paused right there.
I
And then
don't
we
know about
moved
that.
to,
Keep that money all under one house, all under one roof. You know what I'm saying? I just that's
you
the
would
way that
think,
I think. That's
you
the
would
way that
think,
I think.
yeah, unless she already had plans in the works. So that may be the case. But from there, they move on to Sonya and Sheree. They're doing cryotherapy. And, have you ever done that before?
I have not. I don't have them kind of coins. I teach for a living.
I've never done it either. So yeah, but I hear it's good like for my cousin, he runs marathons and he'll do it sometimes like to help. So yeah, I don't work out enough, I think, to deserve it either. So maybe
Who
that
does? Come on now. Let's keep it real. Who does?
right. So anyway, Sheree was happy because Rihanna shouted her out. Because she was like, because Kandi usually hates on her. And I didn't think necessarily Kandi was hating on her when she talked about She by Sheree. I thought everybody was talking about it because the site was down and whatever. It's like, I don't think she said anything about it specifically, but they played the little clip. But in any case, um, they get to talking about the event and they were just like, it really looks like the group is divided. They don't understand why half the group left, half the group stayed. And so this is where Sheree was like, I want to do a brunch to make sure we're Gucci. And so that's how the name came up. So everybody should wear Gucci. And Sonya definitely wants Kandi and Marlo to talk because she feels like Kenya and Drew added some extra sauce to the message, and if they actually talk, it'll be resolved. I was like, oh, that was sweet for Sonya to think that. Now, could you actually go to the Keep It Gucci party based on the dress code?
No, I could not because I own
Me either.
zero name brands. None.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, I wouldn't be able to go to this brunch. And I don't know, do you watch Married to Medicine? I can't remember.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah.
Okay, do you remember? I don't know how many seasons it was ago where they had a party where you had to dress under $500. Like your total outfit could not be more than $500. And the girls were like struggling, like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna do this? And I was like, I think I go to every party and my outfit under $100.
Yes. That's it for me. And mostly it's my shoes. My shoes will cost like $60.
Oh, okay. So we'll bump it up to 150. But yeah, like I was like, I don't know if I could go to this party because if you got to wear Gucci, okay. So anyway, Marlo has dinner with Courtney or lunch or something, and Marlo discusses this blind date that they kind of hinted and showed in the previews that she's going to take. And she wanted to thank Courtney for introducing her to somebody who could actually help her expunge her record. And I don't know if you noticed that it said legal consultant. Like it didn't say lawyer.
Attorney.
Yeah, attorney. But I mean, a legal consultant can help you with that. She was like, because nobody else wanted to help you. And I wonder, did you ever ask anybody? Because I don't think she asked anybody. But in any case, they're going to continue back and forth between Marlo and Courtney, and then Sonya and Kandi, because Sonya and Kandi are at I think they're one of Candy's
OLGs.
OLG, okay. And so, Kandi was like, I was on a high from being on the red carpet for the piano lesson, and then I had to come back from that to the hood with y'all. Like Courtney saying, I'm coming to the hood. And she was saying she feels like Sonya is right in the fence. And
well, she was all up until that moment. She was.
Yeah, she was. And she said she doesn't want her friendship with Marlo to affect her friendship with the other girls. And Candice feel like she's like Marlo is playing down what she did, because she always does that. She does have a pattern of saying something and then it was just like, well, either I didn't mean it that way, or like she's very good at like showing herself as the victim, and when she does it over and over again. And that may also be called gaslighting or whatever. But I watched what was that? Speak on
it. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Speak on it.
Yes, for the vocals, right? It was not.
Put me in the back.
Right, okay. Anyway, hold up. So she said that, and it was true that there is typically somebody every season that has to play the middle. Like, it's like Sheree. She said even she's been the person playing the middle sometimes. And she said that Cynthia was probably the best to play the middle. And I thought about it. I was like, I guess she was, because she was typically friends with both sides. Like she would be close to Nene, but also close to Kenya and all that kind of stuff. And you have to like balance that out and not get too far into the mess. And I think with Sonya trying to play the middle, she's showing her hand too much. Like I'm actually more close to, because she's not defending Kenya with Marlo, but she definitely defended Marlo with, not Kenya, Kandi, but she definitely defended Marlo with Kandi. Yes. And I was thinking about it, like, because I know everybody's not friends outside of the show. Like they are friends on the show, but not actually friends outside of the show. But it seems like her, Kandi and Sonya, like they went on trips together and all that kind of stuff outside of the season. So to me, you don't really do that unless you have some type of relationship. And honestly, out of the two, I'm gonna pick Kandi as a friend.
Yeah. Kandi is an executive producer. She's been on the show since season 2. And no matter what, Candi's ship is not gonna sink. So you know what I'm saying? It took Marlo however many years to get to where she is right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, the guy
she is not the center peach.
The guy you sent me, he kept talking about her rent-a-peach. I was like, oh, not a rent-a-peach. But yeah, it's kind of what it is. But it's like, I'm just thinking in general, even like how I go about life, like the person I would want to hang around, probably would be, Kandi out of the two. And then Marlo, she's not loyal. She will flip on you. It's like you have to do something to Kandi for her to flip on you. But Marlo, you don't have to do nothing. She just decide like, I think it's gonna be you this time or whatever.
In other words, Candy's friendship is genuine.
Yeah, yeah. She's loyal to those that are loyal to her. And even I thought about back in, I don't know what season it was, where she was not getting along with Portia. Like it was a clash between her and Portia, but she still cast Portia on that play, which I think helped catapult Portia into other things because they were like, okay, she can kind of sing, she can kind of act, So anyway, I would definitely choose her out of the two. But in any case, they go back to Courtney, and Courtney asked a real good question to Marlo. She said, why didn't you address this with her before? Marlo says, I hadn't seen her. The lie.
Roll tapes. Roll tapes.
I was like, okay, this happened in 2020, and you tell me you've been together with her for 2 whole seasons, and you're gonna say you hadn't seen her? And even let's say it was even after the Drew thing, she still had seen her since the Drew thing. So the lie.
It was so when Kenya said it, it was so appropriate in that moment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And so so she was just saying that basically this whole situation has drew them further apart, and she expected her to something. Can I get your sister's phone number? Do you notice that every time she talk about this, she adds more to the plate of what Kandi should have done? I'm just like, now she should have got your sister's number. I mean, okay, that was a lot. So anyway, they're back to Kandi.
It was an excellent point. I don't remember when in the episode someone said it, and I kind of think that we talked about it in previous episodes. Marlo she definitely has a certain standard for her friends, and I get that. The way that I want to be treated is not necessarily the way that you would treat me, right? In terms of our friendship, I get that. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
But I think as an adult, you mature and you understand that about people in general, right? People show their love and affection in lots of different ways, and that was, in my opinion, that was a way in which Marlo should have understood people, right? Yeah. Let's assume that this is not all about Marlo having a moment on the show. Let's assume this is really, really genuinely how Marlo feels. If in fact this is genuinely how she feels, this was a moment for her to learn about herself and other people.
Exactly. And if you think about it, she never she really should have gone to Kandi directly, if that is your friend of 10 plus years, and said, I expected you to do this or whatever, and they could have really talked that out. And it really is in friendships and relationships and everything, it's really expectations. You just have to either know who, because we're all different types of friends, we're all different type. You can't put expectations on people, like you were saying, that you would do, and there are things that people would do that I wouldn't even think of. So like there's a lady in my sorority, she's very good with like writing letters and cards and stuff like that. And like one time, I don't know how she found out I had a cold, because it wasn't even a bad cold. I must have coughed in front of another soror. Somebody said I heard Michelle cough
during COVID. Michelle was she was coughing, girl.
I got a letter in the mail, like praying, hope you feel better, heard you had a little cough or whatever.
Wow.
I was like, wow, like I don't think like that. Like I try to, because this is so sad. This is such a sidebar too. But like if something happens, I will go to the store, buy the card, and never mail it out. So I just it's not naturally for me. Like I would have to try really hard to do it. But I think about it more now, but I haven't fully gotten it. But people are different, and you just have to.
Yeah. To me, to be honest, a little note, even a text message, it means the world to me. It means it more than a phone call, more than anything else. Just the fact that you thought about this, you erased, you went back, you did whatever it was that you had to do to formulate your message. That means more to me than coming by my house and giving me whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gotten better with that because I would always think of it but never do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten better with that. With at least like because text is easy, like you can text or whatever. But it does show that you like the cards, which are harder for me. The person wouldn't know that I ever thought about them because they didn't see they didn't see it or whatever, you know. But this goes right into Kandi. She's basically saying she's not the type of friend that's gonna be like woo 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 cry with me or whatever. And she knows that about herself. And if Marlo is really your friend, she'll know that about you too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so she's not. And even though she said that in the clip, she did show, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like she went over to comfort Marlo,
Mm-hmm.
but that's probably, you know, just a reaction. But she's not like the person that you call up to cry with or whatever. But she said what she is though is the motivational friend. She's the opportunities to her friend. You know, she's that type of friend. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, her and Sonya were both crying because she mentioned her brother passing away, and she said that she doesn't like wallow in it because she knows that she had to push past it because she knows life goes on. So
And you
she's
can
not.
get stuck in it. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
everybody keeps coming at you with it, you're reminded of it constantly.
Hmm.
I remember like when my mom died, it was like there were moments when I did want to talk. No one brought it up, and then there were moments when people kept bringing it up, and I was like, "Why are you doing this to me? I'm not in the headspace right now." And
Yeah.
it's really difficult because when you don't know where someone is, you don't know how to approach them, right? And
Hmm.
so I get it.
Yeah, yeah. So that is good that she sees that about herself. So anyway, they go back to Marlo and Courtney, and so Marlo was just like, you know, I just can't keep apologizing and explaining myself. You're just as ignorant as Scooter Brown. Do you know who Scooter Brown is?
No, but
I've heard that. He's like an
I
OG.
hadn't heard that in about 40
Oh my
years.
gosh. And so, you know, anyway, so they kind of start talking about the brunch or whatever. And the thing with Marlo is it's almost like she forgets all the bad stuff that she said about people. Because she'll be like, I'm such a friend, I'm giving, I'm all of this, but then you call somebody ignorant, you know, like, I don't know. So anyway, they move on to Drew in her dance video or whatever. So she's doing her little choreography and stuff. And she still got some moves because I think I told you in Girlfriends, I was watching Girlfriends. I was like, that's Drew. And she was dancing or whatever. So anyway, so Ralph comes in and they let him know that the other guy couldn't make it. I don't know if that was true or
I
not,
was just about to ask, you think that's real?
I don't think so. Because I was like, oh, it just happens that
The
Ralph
night
came in and
before.
he was just like, I didn't even work out. But anyway, he, did his little thing, took off his shirt, and he was the backup plan, but he was
Look,
okay.
look, that whole the whole way, everything, just the way that she was pulling on his shirt, I was like, yes, yes.
I give my Ralph moment because he's the only. Let me think. Yeah, other than he's the only husband out of the Real
Besides
Housewives,
Todd,
right?
besides
Yeah.
Todd.
Oh, Todd. Yeah, Todd. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think Todd is handsome, but he's not anybody that we need to see take his shirt off. He's just, a nice guy. All right, so that was your little moment. So anyway, Kenya goes to the doctor and they talk about her possibly having another baby. And she wants Brooklyn to have a playmate. And I have heard of people who have only kids wanting their child to have a sibling to play with
Mhm.
and things like that.
Mhm.
And she has some embryos that her and Mark made um, that I guess, because I know, well, anyway, you do have to like say, okay, what do you want to happen to these embryos? And I guess they discussed that they will belong to her in case they didn't make it. So
Mhm.
they are hers. But her pregnancy was very scary. She was depressed. The doctor said that basically that was one of the scariest deliveries for her. It was over 2 hours. She lost a lot of blood. And so
By the
they
way, did we ever know that about her
no,
pregnancy?
I never heard anything about it being that difficult for her. Yeah.
And that would have been great for us to see. I mean, I don't know if they were taping around that time, but it would have been great for us to see her bounce back because like it was a true bounce back. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it might have had a whole lot to do with her storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the stress
because
of all of that.
honestly, that season, remember that was the season. I think Nene had something, and she came in there pregnant, like at the end of the season, and like wreaking havoc and all that kind of stuff. But that might have been. But anyway, I feel like she got. Yeah, she was like mean on that season, if I'm not mistaken. So that could have had a lot to do with it. And to
I
me,
just mean like the season. Well, she was kind of light. She's been light since she gave birth. Like she's not been
yeah,
like this is the most she's ever given since she gave birth to a child.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And um, with the whole thing, I was just thinking like, you got money, you could just do a surrogate. And I know some people want to carry their child, but I mean, you're good enough that you got embryos at this point. So get somebody else to do it. Because yeah, you don't want to put your life at risk. And now, poor Brooklyn and whoever the other baby got to deal with Mark. So
Look,
yeah.
she better go to whoever it was that carried Candy's child.
Mm.
That's who I want to carry mine.
Well, I heard where did I hear this tea? So this lady that carried Blaze, Candy recommended to somebody else, and that child didn't make it or something, or something. She miscarried or something happened with the baby. I can't think of what it was, but I mean that it's not always the woman. It could be the embryo, like something could be something wrong with it or whatever. So,
what I really mean is just the way in which she was. Like she wasn't the type that like you hear all these horror stories about what happens to the woman who.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't it, and she we didn't know who she was until we saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like some people would have been like, "Nah, I'm gonna get my money."
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't that type. That's what I mean.
And she did seem very low key, where she was like, "I'm doing this because I love to do it. It didn't matter if it was Candy's baby or Lisa or whoever on the street. I'm doing this because I want to help people." So yeah, that is true. All right, let's get to this Gucci party now. Sheree arrives and she assigns seats because she wants, people to sit by somebody that at least they like. And it seemed to be fairly difficult for her to do it, but she got it together initially. And her goal, she just really wants everybody to love each other because it's disappointing for her to see everybody, like that. They want to form a sisterhood, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she has the final seating with Marlo, like far away. Well, not far away, but she's in between Marlo and Kenya. But then I think when Kandi came in, she was just like, can you flip them? Because I need Marlo further away. And so anyway, everybody gets there, and I never know if they're editing or not. Because when they show people come in hugging one person and not hugging everybody else, I don't know if that's like shade or it's just like, okay, they wanted to do that. So I'll leave the hugs out. But anyway, Kenya comes in and she has on a nice outfit, but there's not logos all over it or whatever. But she did have a Chanel bag, which they, drew on. Now, how do you feel about logos? Because they made it a point that, she didn't have on the, is that really Gucci or whatever? Yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm not I don't mind nice stuff or quality stuff, but I'm not, you're not gonna see me in no Gucci jumpsuit. You're not gonna see me in like with the, I don't know, I don't know. I'm not a person that needs to show it.
Let me tell you something. In my 47 years of life, I have never worn Nikes ever. Ever.
Really? Wait a minute.
That's not how I grew up. That's
Oh,
not how I grew up. And it was a philosophy in our house. It was like, nah, because you're gonna pay, hundreds of dollars for this. And this over here, different color, different name brand, all that, same material, same everything, made by the same people. Why spend all your money on that? That was the way in which we grew up. So no, you'll never see me wear name brand anything.
Oh wow.
So like when I see it, I barely recognize it. It means nothing to me.
Well, don't tell my husband that because we get Nike shoes coming to the door every day. Literally. He loves Nike shoes. So, and I guess I didn't even think about Nike. I guess it is a name brand. I was thinking like high end, like.
No, that was just me like explaining, but like, no, not even that. Not
and
even
you know
that.
what? What was it? I think the Gucci belts that are popular. I didn't know they were like $500-$600. Like they're like just for
expensive.
The belt and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll carry a nice bag because my husband did give me a nice Louis Vuitton bag, so I do carry that. But
and she flips it.
but that's it. That's it. You won't see me like with it. I don't know, like the clothes. I don't know. They probably don't have my size either. But if they did, I don't think I would wear all that on the outside. But in any case,
I tell you what, I had this boyfriend, and when we broke up, he used to live with me. When we broke up, I hid his Gucci belts. And what's so bad, it was a knockoff at that.
Nobody else knows. And I know the people I hang around don't know if it's real or not. So I'm a rocket. But yeah, so anyway, Sheree gets the party started. And so she gives a speech again about, she really wants everybody to coexist. And she gets kind of teary-eyed and emotional. And, they want people to work out their issues. So Courtney was like, basically they came to her event and, I think Kandi was saying that she was happy that they came to her event because, they didn't have to because they had like an issue with her and Kandi before, but the argument was stupid, which Kandi said it really was about, you don't know me, I don't know you. So they squashed theirs fairly quickly. So that was good. Sonya, this guy, she talks about Kenya not being a consistent friend because she feels like she was lukewarm at Ross's party. And when she went to Birmingham, she was like, look, I went to Birmingham. I was going to turn around and come back, which I thought was really good because I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And Kenya was like, you know what? There's a part of you or a level of you that I really don't trust. Because she said, you'll say you're my friend and then you'll get out in the press and shade me or whatever. And they showed the clip about her saying that Kenya had a fake booty. And I guess she said Marlo brought it up. And, now that I look at it, I don't know. But everybody else seemed to think it's a fake booty too. I guess they in Atlanta, I just assume everybody got fake booties in Atlanta. Like, it's the thing. So I didn't think anybody was like keeping that a secret any longer, but I don't know.
Well,
and it's proportionate. Like, I don't know if it's fake or not, but it's not because like Tiny's booty is not proportionate. It's like, girl, you should add them, get a little more thighs.
I think Kenya's brand is everything about her is real except her eyes. But we know that that's not true because her hair is not hers. You know what I'm saying?
Her hair, well, okay, her hair. No, Kenya has naturally long hair. She does wear wigs, and the wigs are awful. Like, she should just wear her hair, like, honestly, because she has, like, it looks, that is one thing she's had since she was like, was it Miss USA or whatever?
Miss
consistently
Universe.
Like, good, healthy.
I mean, not Miss Universe, Miss.
You're
right, Miss USA. Miss USA.
Okay,
not Miss America, but Miss USA.
Yeah, so her hair, like, I feel like her hair, for the most part, until she adds clip-ins or wigs, is real. The booty, I'm not sure, but she works out a lot. And Sheree also works out, and they both have nice buns for their age and size and all that kind of stuff.
But you can definitely tell that as Sheree has aged, her booty has gotten bigger. Whereas Kenya's booty has stayed the same. Can we say that? Can we say her booty?
Yeah, I mean, I assume that people have had some kind of work done. Like, all of them, I feel like, have had something done.
But let me say this, though. So I've had no work done. As I got bigger, my booty got smaller. I don't know if you remember me back in the day.
Uh-huh.
I had a booty as opposed to the rest of me.
It's gone.
You can't see it as much as you see my stomach.
But you know what? I think it is because I've seen, well, mostly on girls, I never paid attention. But with guys, but I think, yeah, like the area around the butt, like, on top, whatever sides, if that's bigger, it does make the butt look smaller. So if that decreases, the butt can increase that. Lord, Kenya, what you got us talking about?
Her booty fake.
Okay, we'll go with that. Since it doesn't shake, like, because she had gained. Remember, I think it was after Brooklyn she had gained a lot of weight. She still looked good proportionally,
Yeah.
but you could tell she had, she was thick with it, but she lost all that or whatever. But apparently her booty is the same size throughout it all. So that's a clear sign.
And I love production. They showed the before and after.
I know. Years, everything. I was like, oh my gosh. And so, she was just saying like all of this shading you do, it really seems like, it's fake. And so they want to build a friendship, but Kenya said she'll just see how she moves and see if she's worthy of that trust. And she wasn't being shady. She was being real. So anyway, they get to Marlo and Kandi. So Marlo was like, she started off with her whole Zen, I'm in a great place. I can respect the ladies and get along. It's not that serious. I just wanted a different reaction from my friend of 10 plus years. I can't make someone like me who doesn't or whatever. So,
hell no.
So Kenya, of course, is going to chime in. Was like, you can't make someone like you if you're constantly attacking them and being evil, which, I mean, honestly, last season, unprovoked. Remember when she was like, she pulled Sheree outside when they were at that thing with Sonya was trying to make that Jamaican stuff. It was like Sonya's first event where her and her mom, I think they were cooking Jamaican food. They weren't at home. They were at it was almost like a kitchen. And she pulled Sheree to the back and was talking about how Kandi was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, that was unprovoked. I don't think Kenya had done anything to her. And so it's just like, yeah, she's not going to, get along with you. But anyway, Sheree, of course, was chiming in, was like, I think it was just a miscommunication between you and Kandi. Are you being genuine? And she was like, I am being genuine. So, of course, Kenya starts choking because it's some BS stuck in her throat. And so Kandi was like, you are not being genuine. At the end of the day, you would not appreciate your name being attached to a murder. I don't think anybody would. And so Marlo was like, I didn't bring up the shooting. And when she did, it struck something. So, of course, Drew is going to chime in because her name got thrown in it. And so, of course, everybody's talking. And, Marlo was like, nobody will let me talk. What did I say the big issue is? What did I say the big issue is? So clearly no one knows what the big issue is or the main issue is because Sheree said it was the flowers at the funeral. We didn't heard that it was the word shooting versus incident. We have heard that it was she didn't cater. Oh, she didn't cater it. You didn't call my sister. I mean, she's had the whole gambit of all the stuff that she expected Kandi to do. So and Kandi brought up a good point. She was just like, what you're doing is actually probably more painful to your sister because it's been 2 years and you're dragging this out for no reason. Like, for no reason. So at this point, Sheree's in the diaries talking about Kandi always got her people speaking for her, and Kenya and Dro won't let Marlo say anything. So Marlo gets up to leave. Go ahead.
No, so on that point right there, so it's the circumstances. So, Kenya, you said it last week. You said it. Or was it Kandi? I don't know. One of y'all said it. Basically, Kenya and Marlo, they don't get along. They haven't gotten along for I don't know how many years. They just don't get along. And so that's why and Kenya is not gonna keep her mouth shut. It don't matter who's talking, Kenya gonna have something to say. Right? So that's that. And again, like 30 seconds ago, you just said the fact that she brought Drew into that story. Of course, that is why Drew started talking. It is not necessarily that they're behind Kandi. Not necessarily that they're behind Kandi. It's just the situations aligned them together. That's all.
That I agree with that. And it's almost like, okay, you see that as them speaking for Kandi, but you don't see it as you speaking for Marlo when you were like, it was a miscommunication, right, Marlo? It wasn't a miscommunication, and it's almost like you're
Sonya
pounding the table, like pounding on there, saying like, I think you're focusing on the wrong issue, and it's like clearly nobody knows what the real issue is because everybody said something different. Like, and but anyway, Marlo gets up to leave, and Sheree goes running behind her, and at this point, she's mad at Kenya because she just feel like Kenya was disrespectful. And they may have edited it out, but I didn't hear anything Kenya said that was different. I mean, she called her bottom.
She just said that Kenya wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah. And that's the thing I noticed with Marlo. I will say this. She likes to talk and be heard, but if you challenge her, It's
don't
like,
like
you don't let me talk. I can't say anything. Practice your active listening. It's like, you're not practicing your active listening because she
it.
sure will cut you off while you talking.
And she needs to realize that when she talks, it's decibels, it's up there, right? And so if somebody has something to say, they gotta counter, they gotta come, and
At that
she
decibel.
needs to understand that about herself.
Lord. So anyway, Sheree goes out to get her, and she was just like, basically, I'm just trying to take my life coach advice and leave. And she thought she was going to brunch, not a crucifixion. She kept saying, "Is it crucifixion? No, it's not crucifixion." But anyway, and she kept saying, like, "I just can't with Kenya. I can't with Kenya." And because you were saying Kenya, they don't get along. To me, I just remember, and I don't remember what all Kenya did that year, but remember Marlo, they were out at an RV, and Marlo said something like, "Your own mama don't want you," or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and from that point on, I would not have liked it, and I feel like Kenya was actually her friend after that point, at least on the show. But and then something else happened. But to me, like, I feel like Marlo goes below the gutter. Like, she, like, it's some things, even if you're mad at somebody, you might think it, but you're not gonna say it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And just because,
now I wouldn't even think that. That wouldn't even
I
cross my
wouldn't think
mind.
that. I would not think that. But Marlo, for some reason, and she goes like, I don't know, like her things are like, I don't know.
It cuts below the belt.
But way below the belt. So anyway, she was like, basically, if Kenya can shut up, I'll come back in. So she comes back in, and while they're out there, though, Kandi is like, saying again, like she always acts up and then blames other people. And Kenya was like, and look how she treat people. She's not loyal.
So
the bee sold her pee for a bag.
This is how, if I were Sheree, I would have handled that situation just a little differently. Mm-hmm. I would have escorted Marlo in, and I would have asked to talk to Kenya and Drew outside. Mm-hmm. Hey, can I talk to the two of you outside? By pulling them outside, that then would have allowed the two of them to talk.
Yes, that's a good idea, because it's not like you are purposely, because pulling them away is not going to help, but pulling Drew and Kenya away removes them from the room. That's mm-hmm. true. But anyway, they come back. So Kenya was like, that's fine. I don't have to say anything. I can give looks and stuff. She didn't say that, but she did. So anyway, she was saying, basically, my nephew being murdered had nothing to do with you. Just, my sister called me and was like, Kandi didn't call me. Isn't that your girl? And she was just like, she didn't call you. She don't give a F. I could have just wanted some condolences. So all while this has happened is when, like you mentioned before, Sonya Pipes, it was like, well, what she's saying is, and Kandi was like, I don't need you to be acting as a lawyer today. Even though Sonya felt like she was focusing on the wrong issue. Kandi was like, Emma and those flowers she was expecting to get. And I think that was just like her getting angry, number one. But it is like, look, you focusing on all of this. Forget you and them flowers and catering, all that kind of stuff. And so Marlo, they going back and forth, and Marlo was like, you're so selfish. You're a different breed. You're a spoiled, privileged girl. I'm like, what?
Can I say this? I'm going to be so honest with you. And again, only had one experience in my life. My mom received, I don't know how many flowers when she passed away. Mm-hmm. My sister and I, we didn't even look at it. We didn't look to see who brought whatever. Didn't mm-hmm. care. We literally did not care. And I'm not saying that that's everybody, but in my experience, it was just, all of it is so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to think about small stuff.
Yeah.
You don't.
And like, and because it was y'all, like sometimes in like a bigger family, and I mean, I haven't lost anyone close, like grandmothers, aunties, stuff like that. But it's like people, like if they were at a church, like it could be a best friend of somebody that may go in and like, okay, so and so, whatever. But the actual family is not like looking at these plants and say, oh look, or wait a minute, I looked at all the flowers, I did not see one from Kandi. But mm-hmm. check your list again. Did Kandi send flowers? Whatever. Mm-hmm. So. Mm-hmm. The fact that she's bringing it up, it's like, okay, either you weren't that close to your nephew or you just making up stuff,
She wasn't that close. She wasn't that close.
And so, yeah. And so, for Marlo to call her selfish and spoiled privilege, it's almost, I don't know, it's Marlo does, she has to get not a life coach, therapy, because it's like she grew up, we all know she grew up, poor, and her mom, was, I don't know if her mom was a crackhead, she had issues with her mom and stuff like that. And it might have been foster care, I can't think of, but her upbringing wasn't the best. And so the fact that she came up, I mean, be it through these rich white men, however she did it, she has to let everybody know. So she's wearing it all, she's whatever. And whenever she gives an insult, you're broke. It's like those are her insults versus.
But look, I'm gonna give her flowers. Your girl always looks good.
She looks great, and even throughout the years. So, like, I don't know, is she in her 50s now? I don't know, but still, she does look good. She does look good and dresses nice. I will give her that. And I forgot, she did rate everybody in their Gucci outfits, and that was kind of on point.
She was right on point, and she wasn't lying. She wasn't lying.
She was on point with everybody in their Gucci outfits.
They came dressed like their personality.
Yeah,
that was a nice way of saying it.
Yes. Okay. He's about to leave. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, that was on point. The all of the, because I was like, I got to give it to her. She does have that with the outfits and stuff, but she does like show her. It's almost like what they call it, hood rich, where you have to show what you got versus
nouveau riche.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. So, but yeah, so that was in it. No. Actually, before I leave, Sheree interrupted, was like, I don't think this went exactly how I planned, but we had some good movement. And she talking about, I did a good job. Let me pat myself on the back. I was like, Sheree, what kind of mess?
She says, yeah, 4 out of 7. That was good enough.
Oh my God. I was like, girl, the other ones wasn't really no issues. This is the main issue, so you failed. Oh my God. Because Kandi and Marlo were the split. So anyway, and speak on it, Kandi mentioned that this supposedly is the last episode they deal with this whole funeral thing, and they're gonna move on to some other issues. So,
and she said it's supposed to be even bigger and badder.
Yeah. So, and hopefully they're like actual, like real issues and not this made up.
I hope so. Can you anticipate what they might be?
I have no idea. Like, because they didn't even tease it. So yeah, I don't know. What it could be. And I haven't heard anything about, like sometimes, like I think with Ross's birthday, that was in the blogs because they were just like, oh, Kandi got into an altercation. So we knew something was going to happen there, but I haven't heard anything. So we will see. The only thing they showed for upcoming was they showed Drew in her video, her skating. Did you see it? You didn't see the previews?
No, I did not.
Okay, so Drew, she's going to have like a skating themed video, and she can't skate. And Sonya brings up like, girl, every season, basically you breaking them Achilles. So I would choose something safer. So she's going to be doing her video. Marlo goes out on a date with the guy that she kind of alluded to, a blind date. And she was just like, well, tell me something about yourself or something. And he mentioned that he had been in and out of prison. But I'm assuming he must have be doing well for Marlo to even date him. So
I'm going to assume it's going to have something to do with Sheree in some kind of way. And the reason I say that is because look at it. Sheree's in the center, right? And normally, whoever's in the center, they're in the hot spot.
Now that you bring it up, they did have Sheree and Kandi talking, and they were like, she was like, why are you always bad mouthing my business? I'm always supporting you. And she was just like, all I did was say something about she by Shein. And she was like, no, she by Sheree or whatever. And so maybe that's it. But I don't see that going that deep, but we'll see. And I feel like everybody really did support She by Sheree. Because remember the last episode of last season, everybody was there. Nobody was like, even in the diaries, nobody I saw hating on her stuff or anything. I think Drew hated after the fact when she didn't get that bag, but nobody hated at the time. But then that's what I feel when Sheree said that she gave it a 4 out of 7 and that was success. That says a lot about her She by Sheree, because she has her expectations are not the same as everybody else. Because you would think like we've been waiting 14 years while she was Sheree. I'm gonna make sure this website work. I'm gonna test it, double test it, whatever.
Right.
And she didn't. But in any case.
Well, maybe that was the last thing on her mind. She was thinking about all the other moving pieces, but she wasn't concerned about it. And who expects a website to go down? Like everybody. In this day and age. No,
not that you expect it to, but you prepare for it just in case. Because I hear about I listen to radio shows like on Sirius XM, and so like somebody will come in and say, "I'm selling this product," and everybody goes to the website to buy it, and oftentimes the website crashes because now they'll have people go, but when like your website is not equipped to have thousands of people on there at one time, then it will crash. And so she didn't buy whatever it needs to do to support that volume of people coming at one time. And I would think
so she needed her own server. She didn't have her own server.
Something like that. And the thing too, Sheree doesn't like, not that she doesn't like help, she doesn't like to pay for help, number one. And I think she likes to do stuff herself, which is good in some cases, but bad in other cases, because you can't think of everything, you can't do everything. And so somebody on the tech side could have been like, okay, people been waiting on this. Even if they going to be nosy, you're going to have a lot of people come to this site. And so, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Anything on speak on it?
I think, let me see. Nothing. I'm trying to think. What else did she talk about? Oh, she talked about Sonya, and I guess Sonya been saying stuff out in the blogs. I guess she had an interview with Carlos King, and they talked about who would be or who she would like to be on the next season. Who would she take off? And so
she got rid of Kandi.
Yeah, she got rid of Kandi and Kenya and added Patricia and Phaedra. And so she just thought that was interesting as well. And I guess, I don't know, it seemed like she said something else about Kandi. So that was, I think, one of the things outside of the show.
And what did Kenya and what did Kenya say in response?
Not Kenya, Kandi.
Kandi.
Oh, yeah, Kandi. Oh, well, she was basically like, if you want, basically the people are saying if anybody should be off the show, it should be her. So don't be trying to think of what the people want, because if you get what the people want,
you ain't on, boo.
You ain't gonna be there. Because I mean, honestly, like if Sonya left, it wouldn't be like, man, I miss Sonya. Yeah. So. And then we seen her husband either.
Except the husband.
Bring him on. So
the husband.
A little eye candy to help us want to keep you on, but we ain't see him. I guess he been in Austin.
Why are you in Austin so much?
And that's why I'm like, he live in Austin. But I don't know. He has a limousine business, I think, in Austin. And it seemed like it would do well in Atlanta, but I guess they'd have to get the limos there, and they probably got contracts and stuff. I don't know, but after all these years, you would think. Yeah. You would think. And, people would just want to be, because he drives them himself. So they would want to be, near him. Oh. Especially the gays. You like they. Who is they? But yeah, I didn't realize. I guess he did drive, but he probably has a staff. But yeah, I forgot. The fact that he's there, he probably does drive.
No, they said it on the show. He drives sometimes. Oh. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And I would think, I know like after you leave the NFL, everybody, you have to manage your money right and all this kind of stuff. And I guess that business is doing well. But well, I guess we'll go to Austin and see if we can.
When is Jeff opening his
right?
Is that in Austin? That's not. Is it? San Antonio. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like an hour. Well, Austin got bad traffic, but hour and a half. We have to put a lot of money together to get them to go all the way to San Antonio. But
oh, you know what? I'm just thinking about this while we're doing this. I wonder if you and I, when we meet in Dallas, if we can do a show.
A live one together?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can.
With everybody in the background acting a fool.
Okay. Y'all hush. That would be good. That's a good idea.
My tip's ass.
Oh, it definitely will be interesting if drinks are involved.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so very much for joining us. Don't forget
Yeah.
to like, comment, subscribe, and always, always, always click on that notification so that you can be reminded whenever we're doing a live show. Y'all have a good one.